Welcome back to Brews with the Homies. This is your host, Brews with D Bro. On this episode, we're featuring International Stout Day, and we're also joined by a special guest, Las Vegas Beer Snob.
What's up,
How's
guys?
it going?
How's it going? All right, we got it this time.
We got it.
Oh, they took a few tries, but we're good this time.
The fourth take. That's sometimes what needs to happen.
Hey, buddy, we hit a home run.
Yeah,
I like it.
We like it. So, fellas, how's everybody been? Beer Snob, how you been?
Good. I've been really busy. I've been plugging my Hoppy Amber all over the place. Had a big release party. Doing one final big one at the end of this middle of this month on the 18th at Khourys. So excited about that. It's been really nonstop though. I'm somewhere every day. If not sharing a beer with somebody, trying to sell, sell some beer, but it's been really busy. Learning experience for sure because it's my first can. But it's been absolutely awesome. Great experience overall.
Dude, that's exciting because actually, where I got my cans was actually from Khourys. So it was cool to see like your can inside of Khourys.
Well, for me, it was cool because that's one of the first local places that I visited when I first moved to Vegas. And this is a long time ago. And for it to come full circle, I told Issa himself, I was like, man, this means a lot to me for you to carry my beer. But I said this to myself. I was like, about 2.5 years ago, I was like, you know what? One day I'm gonna put a beer on these shelves, and for it to actually happen was really cool. And yeah, for them to be big supporters, everything that I tell them that I'm gonna do, they always want to have a part in it. So the team over there is awesome. And yeah, I brought you guys one of their stouts. I think it was their 16-year anniversary stout.
Yep.
It was a collab, and we're gonna do one of those later. And that's one of the reasons I want to share. Yeah, it's International Stout Day, so I want to definitely highlight them a little bit, too.
Well, since you brought it up, we might as well just jump right into it.
Hey, you guys tell me.
All right, so it's going to be the one on your right. So
All
everyone's
Let's
right.
go ahead and jump in.
Yeah, this one, it's 5,840 days, but who's counting? OG. So this one is brewed in collaboration, obviously, with Khourys. I think Abel Baker helped them brew this one.
Abel Baker.
It's going to be an Imperial Stout aged with Elijah Craig bourbon barrels. So it's supposed to give flavors of dark chocolate, caramel, and roast. So, hey, cheers to them and being successful.
Cheers.
You getting your beer
Cheers.
out there and being in their store.
Cheers,
So,
gentlemen.
cheers.
Definitely at the right temperature.
Yeah, I'm glad we kind of let them sit and warm
Yeah,
up. 'Cause
I let mine. I pulled mine out of the fridge before I came in a little. So yeah, the temperature's definitely there. I get a little bourbon on the back end. Definitely some chocolate. The roastiness is there. What are you guys getting? I'm getting some coffee actually. Now.
yeah, the coffee.
I think
roastiness.
the coffee. I think they use Dark Moon coffee. I'm not sure if it says that in there, but I got that one specifically. I love Kyle at Dark Moon. He's my buddy. We worked at the same spot for a couple years, and
Oh, wow.
So I could definitely taste that coffee in there. And it's,
So at first I didn't get the coffee taste. I
didn't
got mostly bourbon. I was like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
And then I let it sit there, and I was like, ooh, is that coffee? And then the second sip, I was like, oh, yep, there's definitely.
I
coffee.
got it on my second sip, and then as I exhale, definitely it's intensified on my palate.
Yeah, that roasted coffee. It was kind of the opposite for me for some reason. When I first took that first sip, I got so much roasted coffee flavor. But then on the back end, I got the bourbon. And then as I let it just sit on the palate and kind of exhale, you could kind of get the nice blended mix of both of them. So I think it's great. The chocolate is very subtle to me in like the middle of the palate.
Yeah, but
so,
just it's there just enough where it's noticeable. I'm digging it.
It's like a complementary flavor. It's not offensive. It's not overpowering because chocolate and coffee, like when you get those two flavors together, it's hard to get them to be like very balanced. Either one is like really overwhelming to the fact that it can almost be overbearing, but delicious. What do you think, James? I like to always hear kind of how you feel.
I'm just very basic, Julio. I'm just straight to the point.
That's fine. There's all kinds of different beer drinks. I love hearing everybody's take.
No, I get a lot of like roasted on the beginning there, and then the chocolate hits right in the middle, and then I hit that little bourbon there at the very end there. It's a really good beer. I like it. So
yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, we need more collaborations from Dark Moon because I know Mostra Coffee out of San Diego.
Oh, they do so much.
They do
it's
a lot. I love Dark Moon. I mean, it's my favorite roaster in Vegas.
Oh, for sure.
Their
for sure,
beans
same
are
here.
incredible.
Yes, for sure.
So
for sure.
enjoy.
they've actually done a good amount. They have a couple with Love Lady. They have the Able Baker ones. They have a couple with Able Baker. Yeah, they do get out there a little bit, which is really cool to see.
Yeah.
A local roaster making local beer, so
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, because it kind of just, like you said, like the Mastra, they do collabs all over, and they got so big on their coffee, and then getting into the beer scene. So hopefully, like they could follow suit and do even more collabs, and hopefully outside of state too. But since we have you on here, since we've met you, we've been supporting. You're always the first one to support other people. We always see you at events, and that's what I love to see, all the people in the beer scene supporting each other, getting out there. So my question for you is, how did you get into the beer scene, one, and two, how did you start this brand, Las Vegas Beer Snob? Like, how did it all start?
It's been a little bit of a road trip. It didn't initially start off as, all right, I'm gonna do this, and I've had these ideas over the last years, but my love for craft beers it's been a journey. I found it when I moved in San Diego. Obviously I was in the Navy. Obviously it's super easy to find craft beer, but this is a long time ago. So it's not the same craft beer scene that we're talking about. I used to actually live in North Park. None of those breweries were there. North Park Brewery was actually a gym that I told you about.
Yeah,
It was a gym
yeah.
that I used to go to every day. I used to spend hours there. So the craft beer scene has even evolved there from the time that I spent there. But I initially got into it then.
Yeah.
And then getting more into MMA, you can't necessarily go out drinking craft beer during the week. So I went cold turkey. Didn't drink at all for a couple of years here and there. And then I'd go back to not necessarily craft beer, but beer in general. And then a couple of years back, I started hitting all the local breweries, and it was a combination of, I was doing jiu-jitsu, and it was that I found out that post-workout beer hits so differently, right?
Yeah.
And especially if you're getting an 8-9% IPA, and it's just, I loved it. It was like, because you're euphoric from actually doing jiu-jitsu, and you have no energy, but you're still on a kind of high, and then you take a little, few sips of beer, and it could even be a small taster, and it hits you, and it's not like it's not necessarily drunk, but it's almost a high, and you feel euphoric, and that was definitely, I started doing it as a lunch beer, so I'd go right after lunch, right, and then started going to all these places. I'm like, you know what, like, people need to hear about this. People need to hear about this. And working in the industry here in Las Vegas, I've learned a couple things about social media, what helps, and algorithms and what have you. And I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I can help out. I'll start this page. I was like, there's not a lot of people that necessarily look like me in the breweries, right? Yeah. So maybe putting my face out there, helps that situation. And as the page has grown, it's I mean, me doing that has been like reciprocated so many times. Like, you putting your face out there, being Latino, like, it means a lot, because you don't go there all the time, and even, a couple years back, it was even less, but it's grown so much here in Las Vegas, and I think I've helped it, a little bit along the way, just by passing on information, right? And, passing on this information, I had people from all over the world, not just the U.S., which is kind of cool. Like, even I look back and I'm like, oh, this message from Australia, message from England, message from Brazil, and these people come to Las Vegas all the time. Some of these people come yearly, and they ask me, hey, what about this? What about this? What's good? And I'm sending these messages back to people internationally, and it's like, well, maybe I could take this a little step further, and then I started, with the glassware. I was like, I've always wanted my own custom glass. Let's see what I could do. And then, surprise, I've sold out of the first glass. It was amazing. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I didn't even think anybody would necessarily be into it. I was like, oh, it would be cool branding if I got my own shirts, I was like, it help me get the word out a little bit better, maybe people. So I got a couple shirts, sold out, and I was like, whoa, this is kind of a thing. I was like, this is kind of cool. I was like, I'm supporting, and people are supporting me back. It's like, it's reciprocating, you know? And I'm gonna be absolutely honest. I was new to the craft beer scene, like the social craft beer scene that you guys are definitely a part of, and that's how we've met. Yeah. And when it hits, and after COVID, my page really blew up during COVID. Obviously, you don't have a lot to do. You're there, and I'm putting my face out there talking about this beer, the new releases, and it was kind of, there's not that much to do, so it was easy to kind of focus on that. But when COVID opened a lot of things back up, and then going back to the breweries, it was like people were scared, man. People were actually scared to go back there. Like, they didn't know the rules, so it's like it transitioned from, all right, I'm gonna review these beers at home to I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna be the first person at all these places, and I'm gonna say, "Oh, this is open,"
Yeah.
And I did. I was like first person at Beer Zombies on Dean Martin.
Yeah.
First pour, first beer. Able Bake before that, and at the opening, Big Dogs at the first opening after COVID. I was there to try to support absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
And like I said, the community is amazing. Like it is crazy, and it's reaches further than you could ever imagine. You know?
It's kind of like what everybody speaks to about Vegas when you live here. Everybody's like, it's a small city. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody here wants to help the community and kind of uplift them. And like kind of what you're doing is giving another community another voice for people to get behind. And it's kind of hard not to get behind you. You do amazing at what you do.
I appreciate that. Thanks, man.
And like from a perspective wise, internationally, Vegas. That's what we're known for. And like when people come here, it's great that you're able to get everybody from overseas, because everybody's like, oh, we're gonna go party in Vegas for the weekend, or we're gonna go spend a week, or like what you're saying. So like it's cool that you're helping like get the word out there out to everybody that is not in the United States, because then that just makes everything want to be better and kind of brings the competition.
It's true. I've seen, and you see even like with the stouts that are coming out now. So you see more like certain people doing similar things, and it's kind of like they're competing with each other in a certain way, and they all have their own styles. They have their own way to do things, and it even going out and meeting everybody has been just the way each brewery does things, just a little bit different, and everybody has their own way, and it's cool. I like it.
And it's cool that you're making it more like accessible, because I think a few years ago the craft beer scene was still developing. It's still like trying to find its grip on being accessible to everybody, because it was kind of looked upon as like a certain group of people, or it's like that whole stigma. You could go to like sports, like hockey is very like, a lot of people thought it was only people that have money and are very privileged can only participate. Golf, and like you see now, hockey's very inclusive. Golf's trying to be very inclusive. The craft beer scene, so many collabs with different charities, different events.
I'm all about that. The charity events, being inclusive means so much to me. It means a lot to me. So it's like being a part of like the local craft beer community, and like supporting them and then reciprocating it. I mean, that's why I did it, and it coming full circle, and now I have like my own beer and stuff like that, like in my own brand. It's really cool. The community has been absolutely amazing, and I'm gonna keep doing what I can do, man, to actually get the word out, and I try to make it to as many places as possible, but it gets a little
we see you around. We've been to quite a few places.
But it's getting a little tricky now too, because a lot more places are starting to open up.
But that's a great thing about it.
It's a great thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's starting to get like it's kind of crazy now, because now you're starting to see these places up in North Las Vegas starting to open up, and now I'm like, oh man, like
it's like, where do I go today?
It's even getting better. There's more coming in North Las Vegas. You're gonna find. I can't say necessarily just yet, but it's really cool because it's very inclusive. It's a little bit different. I'm excited. It's spreading everywhere.
I love it. That's the best part, because it allows me to honestly go see the city. Right. Different parts, because for me, I live on the very south side of Vegas. So like for me, I kind of
stick to that area.
Like because because they have everything there. Yeah. So like I'm like, oh, I don't have to go far. Only time I venture out is like when I go to the Golden Knights, football games, or anything like that. And then when I do go out, like it makes me want to go, all right, cool, I'm going to plan my trip. I'm going to stop here, and like just enjoy it. And like those are most of my like fun ways to enjoy the weekend. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I love all the new places popping up. There's going to be a lot more too. It's exciting. It's exciting. Definitely. You can see it, and like I said, it breeds a little bit of competition, but it's been friendly competition nothing but friendly competition.
And you need that, because I think that helps raise the scene, right? Because we've always been critical, but we love to support the Vegas beer scene, because I think they were behind in terms of.
I mean, well, you go back to San Diego and you realize, oh, you know what they have? There's the selection, the variety, just the
competition,
the competition, the quality is just a little bit better. I mean, we're still working our way up.
Yeah,
but we're climbing quickly. I think,
you've seen Abel Baker winning awards. I know they won. I think I want to say
World Beer Cup,
World
Beer Cup, and then a couple of GABFs. I think Big Dogs had one for their lager, which is cool. That's like one of the go-tos, and it's like for one of the easy drinking beers that you crush randomly, for it to get a GABF here medal, and it's like
it shows
now,
that Vegas is getting up there.
It is. It really is. As a city, it's definitely as a beer city, it's definitely
starting to get there.
Yeah.
I think that's what's gonna make this hopefully soon, or not within the next 10, 15 years. The beer destination of the world.
Yeah, well, with all the sports, I mean, with the sports popping up, obviously, right?
True.
It's definitely kicked the beer scene into high gear. Because I mean, I talked to a lot of brewers, and they have schedules they have to keep, and they're having a hard time keeping up with their schedules, which is great, right? Because there's a demand for the product.
Yeah,
the demand is there, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And like a couple of years ago, you didn't see craft beer in the stadiums, but now it's getting into the stadium, which is amazing. Amazing. You know, it's slowly happening. But
it was funny because the music festival I was in Ohio, they were selling IPAs, hazy IPAs. I was like, what? No way! I was like, dude, this is great. That's all I drank all weekend from there was the IPAs. I was like,
you see, like the Golden Knights has local stuff. Yeah, the Raiders, you'll see a couple.
I mean, that's all new. That's all new this year.
So great to see.
Yeah, it really is. I'm not. This is one of the things that I would get questioned. I would in my DMs all the time. Like, can we get local beer at the? I'm like, I have no say. Yeah. But it was at the HSK games, which I was a season ticket holder for, and I'd be there all the time. And I wanted a local beer so bad. It's so hard to hold one of those 20-ounce whatever in your hand, and it's just I want something local. That's for sure. Yeah. And now that you have a few selections, it's really cool. I think.
Yeah, it's starting to get there. It's awesome to see.
Yeah. So we'll kick off the second beer, and then we'll talk about some more stuff. But the second one,
middle or left?
It'll be the middle one. Okay. So we're gonna go. Beer Snob brought this one. It's from Hudl. It's the 115 degrees. It's an Imperial chocolate cherry stout aged in bourbon barrels. I'll let you kind of talk about this one because you were saying how you got it, and it's one of their new releases.
So the 115 is their stout, right? And they have different versions of it. Over the last 2 years, this is the second year anniversary bottle. Right?
Okay, perfect.
Now, over the last couple of years, they've done a few variations of it, but this is probably one of my favorite ones. A little bit of I've only had the one bottle on the that I had. This is the second one that I but a little bit of cherry on there. The bourbon comes through nicely. The chocolate though, they use a hex chocolate, and they've used it I think in one of their other beers. And they got a GABF bronze for, I'm not sure, it's slipping my mind right now, but either way they did a couple of variations, I think 4 variations for their 2-year anniversary this last weekend. Tasted them this week, all delicious, but this is definitely my favorite. I messaged them. I was like, hey, can you get me a little bit extra wax? I want you to double. They just did a couple extra times for me.
Yeah, it makes them nice.
I've earned some favors over there. I'm kidding. I love the team over there is absolutely amazing. From every single beer tender to everyone over there. Yeah, they've been absolutely amazing.
To your release, it was just such a fun environment. There was so many people there. Everyone was just having a good time, and it's cool because it encouraged people to try some of their beer too if they haven't been down there in a while.
Well, that's one of the reasons that I do these events. So it's not necessarily it is to help me out and build my brand too. But the initial ones I've done three different events, and those I wasn't making. I didn't have a big cut in the beer, necessarily, but it was to help grow their brand and help grow my brand too. As the bigger that my brand gets, and I'm doing these collaborations, it's the bigger that everybody else's local brand gets too. If wishing and willing, my brand becomes big someday, working with these people working with everyone locally is gonna help them as well. And that's why I'm just plugging away, trying to keep it going.
I think that's what's the best part about like now Instagram and Twitter and all these places is you can do these events and you get it out to the masses and then everybody comes through.
It's
cool.
definitely opened up a lot of avenues for me, which is I can't thank it enough.
Yeah.
Are we getting into this one?
Yeah, let's try it. Cheers. Because already on the nose when I'm smelling it, it has such a good cherry on the nose, which is kind of rare to get on a stout.
Yeah.
So just from smelling it, it's like, oh man, that smells delicious.
So I get bourbon right away. The cherry, like, it sweetens and it meets the sweetness from the ABV, the bourbon, right? And then as it dissipates, it's chocolatey. Like, the chocolate definitely hits. And even more as it dissipates, even more. And that's when I really taste it. It's almost a little bit bitter, not necessarily sweet. So it might be, I don't know if it's a dark chocolate, but when I can taste, that's dark chocolate, you know?
Yeah. The weird thing about this one for me is because normally when you get into like barrel aged beers, you get like a very heavy or thick body, like very viscous. This one's like a kind of middle ground, almost on the lighter side. Because I think when I was checking, it's 11.9% ABV, which is pretty light for a barrel aged stout. But I kind of dig it because it's more like drinkable. It's very enjoyable. It's not too thick. It's not too viscous. Even though I love that. I love my thick, very delicious stouts. This one's more of a, hey, we got complex flavors, but it's still on the light side. A little bit lighter body, a little bit lower ABV, but you can still appreciate it.
I hear you. I agree with that.
So I mean, we like to talk a lot about drinkability here, and we're just like, hey, how drinkable is this? Is this like a super light lager that is low in bitterness? Everybody drinks, the college kids shotgun even though they're underage. I mean, this is a really drinkable beer.
Yeah.
Like compared to the other one, not saying that the other one was not drinkable at all. I mean, we're almost all done with it.
Yeah, I know. Me and Karen are pounding, but
But no, this is actually
I'm
really,
pacing myself. I'm pacing myself.
This is really easy to drink. It's almost like velvety. Like,
Yeah, okay,
it's
that's
like,
That's good. I think that's a really good description.
like it's just like it dances on the tongue, and it's just like, wait a minute, a fluid almost isn't supposed to be that way, but at this temperature, it releases like the right amount of CO2 within your mouth, where it's just like it just like flows.
So that's key, I think, specifically to I mean, well, the stouts over there. I mean, I think you just have to let them open up. I think they did a Spumoni stout.
Oh, okay,
that one. But it's like I had it cold, which is it's a yummy stout. I was like, oh, this is delicious. I had it a lot warmer, and I was like, oh wow, the complexity, because you got so many different things, and it was that one was an experience, I think. But yeah, definitely a fan of this one too.
Yeah, because we talk about that a lot nowadays. Like, you really got to appreciate the stout. You can't drink it all cold. Like, you have to let it warm up. You got to go through the layers of it and get the full appreciation of it.
Yeah.
I think that was like one of the best stouts I've had recently.
Wow. Okay.
Hey, all right.
Dude, I it's just like Karen was saying, crushability through the roof. The flavors that you guys were describing was everything that was like coming off my tongue. I was like, dude, this is like a 10-star. Like,
Well, that's why I like to hear your input, because you went from the I hate stouts to the it's okay, and you're like, okay, now I'm on the stout train. So to try different stuff, it's always cool to hear your perspective, because you've been through it all, so you have a different kind of philosophy and appreciation for the different stouts.
I appreciate this one so much.
All right. So
All right,
I guess
James.
it's me.
Okay, I know. I feel bad because we're leaving you for the last
No,
one. You're
I
like,
know.
oh no.
I said I'm a man of few words, Julio. So, yeah, definitely one of the easier stouts I've had. I'd be interested to see someone who didn't like a stout to try it.
Oh man, I love that.
So it's a good introduction
Because
stout.
when I talk to people at work too, like I feel like I sell our brand too sometimes there. But I work in clothing, and it's like, wait, why are we talking about beer? But anyway, it's like on that note. But yeah, it's just funny. It's like, oh yeah, like I like a stout every once in a while. I was like, oh, I don't like stout. And I was like, well, everyone's that way unless you like try a beer.
And kind of
That's all about what we're doing. Is like there's always a beer for everyone, and it's even though I don't like it, like if I didn't like it, like there's another one that a different variation of a stout.
I think this is a good one. So my wife is a good gauge, because it's like, well, for me, like I'm like, because I'm like, I think this and this you'll like this, and it's like, I think she'll love this one. I wish I would have ordered for her
Yeah.
too. Like, cause it's drinkable. It's drinkable. Yeah, for sure.
And that's what, like, you know, getting back to kind of what James says, is getting people on board and, you know, accessibility. Like, the times we've been to Beer Zombies or done our beer shares, we bring such a variety of things and different stuff that people normally wouldn't try or maybe be
Not even.
They don't have access to your stuff.
Yeah, well,
in
yeah.
reality, come on.
No,
dude.
not
Yeah,
access
dude.
to it, but at the same
I mean,
time, if they saw it on the board, even though it was like rare, they wouldn't
They
know.
might not.
They
wouldn't
wouldn't
know.
They
you're
wouldn't
Maybe
order it
it's-
either
it's too
because they're like,
intimidating,
oh my
you know?
god, that
But that's
15% stout.
That's kind of the cool part, though,
Yeah.
right? Because like you never know
Breaking
when you're gonna
those
meet
walls
into when you're gonna walk into Beer Zombies and meet somebody. I've met people from all over the U.S. and it's like, oh, you know, and I have had the most randomest, best conversations with them, you know, like, but it's like they're either getting into something that's like, oh, you know, and I'm like, what if you know, what about this?
Or it's like
But-
people like come in, I want something as close to
Coors
Modelo
Light.
or Coors
Yeah.
Light.
Yep.
And then we're doing a share and we're like, and I love how like Matt, Andrew, like anytime they're behind the bar, they'll be like, oh, you want to try this? Like, here, we're going to get you a taster too. Like, try this or
Yeah.
whatever we're sharing.
Well,
And-
the customer that asks for a Modelo or something like at a craft beer bar is somebody that doesn't know necessarily about shares, right?
Yeah.
So when you get into that and you walk into a share, that's like it's like, oh,
Like,
this
you
is
guys share beer?
awesome.
What? Yeah, it's
what?
kind of like a cool, like-
It's mind blowing to you know. It is because you know they didn't realize that there's an actual community and there's a community around the beer, you know, and it's craft. You know, it's not necessarily that, but they might turn into a craft beer lover. You know, so you know.
Well,
I'm
there's
always-
like the stages too. I've been trying to personally get back into this, is kind of step away from all the crazy stuff that we get, and because I'm such a collector, like I want to try the best of the best. So I've been trying to have more locally accessible stuff. Or Voodoo Ranger is a good example. Like they did a mix packed with some of their like most popular stuff, and then they added a new can that was an experimental IPA with a single hop. So I think what they're trying to do is like have their core line in the box and then put one new one, so that way if a new person that likes that stuff, they could try something new and like, well, okay, if they don't like it, it's only 2 other cans in the box.
That's a cool
And
little
they're like,
sneaky way to be like,
yeah,
hey,
they're trying to like
try this too. You know?
Yeah.
But they're so what they have, you know, their customers have a palate, right? And they have a return customer, right? But if you're doing a mix pack, you're trying to expand that customer base, and I think that's a great way to do it. And it's not necessarily, you know, at the smallest level, right?
Yeah.
But still, it's still expanding. You know, people. That person that might buy that, you know, mix pack, it might turn into a real craft.
Yeah,
beer
they might
fan,
be like,
right?
oh, that's something completely different.
Right?
It has way more extravagant taste than the normal stuff. Or
Right?
there's such a unique flavor.
Well, even reading
profile.
the label, when you hear single hop, and you know, like it for somebody to throw a single hop beer in a mix pack, that's definitely they're reaching for a new customer, which is cool, and they're getting extremely crafty with it.
And
right?
it's pretty ballsy because I think
That's
doing a
one
single hop,
that it is.
one, you throw something in a mix pack, sure, but then to do a single hop experimental that most breweries like. You mess that batch up, especially on a large scale like that.
See, but you get beer nerds like me. I might not necessarily buy that mix pack, but if I see those two words, experimental and single.
Yeah, you're like, okay, like, that's where I felt. I was like,
this might be go in my I might purchase this. You know, that's for sure.
It's like when I went to Costco and they had the December calendar for craft beer.
They
I
always got me with it. They always got me with it.
They got me.
They got me.
I see food. I bought. It was like one of those things. I was like, what the hell is this? And I looked at it and I was like, oh, craft beer calendar?
You're like, I need to do
I was like, okay, I'm gonna come back to it. And then so I walked down the aisle, and the aisle I was looking for was right in front of it, and I have to walk by it. I was like, fuck it, you're looking at me like you're coming home with me. And I bought this in October, so I'm gonna be sitting on it for another month.
But it'll be fun to do because
It'll be fun to do.
It will.
Like,
Yeah, but like you said, it's the sneaky advertising of the experimental.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, let me.
It's something new, right?
Yeah.
People love something new, right? And you know, you got to throw it out there sometimes. But they almost got me with it. I was like, But do I want to commit? I'm hard. I'm hard to commit to like. I love singles. I love singles because you have one. But then you have to go back and get.
You're like,
sometimes I'm okay with this, and sometimes like, oh, I got to go back. But I'm a big love my singles, but. Yeah, they almost got me with that. I don't know if I'm gonna commit 30 days.
So luckily, it wasn't 30 days. It was December 1st to the 24th.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like 24.
So, yeah.
I was like, that's cool. I was like 24.
He's like
cool.
that one extra week.
That one extra week. If it was until like New Year's, no, you lost.
Yeah. You're like, okay.
You lost me.
All right, so we'll go into this last one because being a part of the Horus Conviction membership, we got this bottle. It's a very fine, rare dosed. So it was only one in the membership. Wanted to do something fun for International Stout Day. Have a banger. I already know it's going to be banger. It's Horus. Love them. We got some more special stuff coming up when they do their releases. So keep tuned for that. But this one is a Woodford Reserve Masters Collection. Very fine, rare dose, bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout with chocolate, geisha coffee, hazelnuts, and Peruvian vanilla beans added.
You catch the hazelnut off of there. I was gonna stop you, but I'm like, nah, he has to finish.
Oh, yeah.
But
You catch the
yeah.
Are there hazelnuts in here? There's definitely hazelnuts in here.
because when I opened this to pour it before the episode started, I was like, hot damn. This is banging. Just from the nose, this is going to be
really
James,
absolutely
what did James
delectable.
say? I didn't get to hear
I
what
feel
he
it's
said.
a little bit like a macadamia nut. Like,
Okay.
it's
Okay,
little hot
like a cookie
motherfuckers,
type.
Wait, hold on. I got macadamia nuts here.
Oh,
All right, so
side
this
by
one,
side.
Do you really?
a little.
No, do you really?
He does. Look at Heron's always prepared.
Yeah.
He got some nuts in his bag at all
Freaking Mary
times.
Poppins over here. Like,
Whoa.
oh yeah, here's what I got.
We're just gonna share some macadamia nuts as we have this beer.
Okay, let's cheers it up.
All right. Cheers.
This one's at 13.2%. There we go.
Man, that hazelnut is wild.
Oh my.
I just want to smell it. I don't even want to drink it. It's too nice to drink now.
Yeah, throw this as a candle. Oh my goodness. What is that
Oh,
flavor?
ooh. Oh man.
Ooh.
That coffee mixed with the hazelnut,
That's
the sweetness.
coffee?
There's multiple layers of flavors on there for
It's just
sure.
like
And
boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom, boom,
boom, boom.
Yeah,
Wait, there's
it's
coffee?
almost. I took a small sip, so it's a little hard to dissect for right now. But yeah,
I feel like
that hazelnut sits there though, huh?
Well, yeah, like it just
Yeah.
kind of like
It lingers.
traps you
Yeah.
into this.
okay,
Wow.
why not? Have you smelled it?
That was really good.
So I definitely get.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I'll take one.
Might as
They're already
well.
out. They're already out.
talking?
They're already out. I definitely get bourbon notes, but it's hard to decipher even where. Like it's multi-layered. I don't know.
Hold on.
That's
one
crazy.
sec.
I need to keep going.
Everybody, what is it like? Everybody, 2 thumbs up on this
Back
one?
to
2 thumbs.
Julio.
It's
because
complex.
he
I've
was
only
tough.
taken a small sip. I had the macadamia, which is no. I'm gonna say it's hazelnut for sure.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
little bit-
it's hazelnut.
But yeah, it's hazelnut. But yeah, enjoy the macadamia nut.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little complex. There's multiple layers of flavors out in here for sure.
Heron, what do you think of it? Because I know you're a big coffee fan, big hazelnut fan. What are you getting?
I gotta wait for my palate to revive after the macadamia nuts because I think
No, it really kind of ruined it.
Oh, see,
it
we
didn't-
never listen to James ever again.
I never ruined it, but it added an extra layer to
it had
flavors.
an extra
Like
like
an
it's still
onion.
lingering.
Yeah, there's too many layers. All right, so what I got off of it, especially from the smell going into the taste. So obviously hazelnut, because it was on the nose so strong, I kind of got that first. I don't know if that's just because of the aroma, but as you get into the layers, I've had that geisha coffee in quite a few big barrel-aged stouts before, so I definitely recognize that flavor. It's there. It's not a roasty flavor. It's more of like a sweet coffee flavor that plays really well with the hazelnut. For the bourbon barrel-aged taste, I wouldn't be able to guess what barrel it is at all. Like, you get a little bit of burn, but it's a clean burn. Overall, amazing. I love what Horus does, the complex layers of almost everything that they do. I mean, God, as James was saying, like, you could smell this for days. Like,
Yeah.
it might be
So good.
It's
my
too good not
favorite
to drink.
part is the smell, but even taste wise, I would still rate it pretty high. I think it would be like a 4.65 for me, kind of in that range. I'm just spoiled because I've had the best of the best from Horus, so my scale for them is very much lean to rating them fairly, but at the same time, I've had such good ones.
So what's the best of the best? Like Cloudbreaker or something? Like
Yeah, like their Cloud Breakers are really good, but Planifolia Purr was up there. But Coconut Convergence, if you're ever able to get that one, it was a coconut bomb, basically. It was the most barrel I've ever had with such a sweet coconut and still like 15% all came together. On our membership this year, they're doing a double version of it, which is super excited for. Can't wait.
So my question is, because you're talking about your rating system, rate it, and are we adding this to the when they have it again at the end of the year list?
Oh, for sure, I would buy this one again.
Yeah, I'm just making sure because that bottle that's really good.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Would love to get it again. One other point I wanted to hit because we were talking about international, something that we get even. One, outside of Vegas, and then two, outside of the country. It surprises us, and we appreciate you guys listening from other countries. We've had, I think 15 plus different countries that people have listened to us to, and blows my mind. To think that many people in different countries have listened to us and kind of get that inside knowledge on craft beer and to listen to us have fun, talk about these things. But a majority of our audience, we appreciate you guys, is in Vegas, California, and Arizona, in the Nevada, that kind of 3-state area. So it's cool to talk about a lot of stuff that we get from there, talk about the local stuff, because I feel like if they were to visit, it's not that far of a drive or flight to where they come here. They know exactly what we're talking about. They know what places to go to. We could give recommendations. And I love when people message us on Instagram and hey, we're going to Beer Zombies. You guys there? Or hey, where do you want us to go? Recommendations. I'm always Beer Zombies. Hit Khourys if you can. And then if you're going, kind of strip area, definitely hit up Able Baker, Hudl, Cerveza, obviously. Come on, you gotta go down there.
You gotta go to Cerveza's. That's such a fun spot. Every time I go there, I have a blast.
So it's always a good, mix down there. But yeah, man,
honestly, now that everything down there is leveled up, right?
Yeah.
Everything down there is pretty cool. If you want cocktails, there's a bar you can go to, right?
Yeah.
You want specific style of beer now? There's specific bars you can go to.
Or if you just want to have a great time, you basically start at Able Baker, go to Horse Trailer Hideout. You could go all the way down to Nevada Brew Works, Hudl, and go up to Cerveza.
Time out. What happens if people get hungry though?
Oh, you can.
Dude, no, what are you talking about? Able Baker, dude.
Able
Baker,
I
yeah.
love Arts District Kitchen.
Nevada Brewers.
Shout out to Van. We love Van and his kitchen. Come on.
100%.
When you drink, you get hungry.
Yeah.
All right? We're not going to ignore this fact.
No,
you're right.
Definitely,
you're right.
Definitely one of my go-tos. I have lunch at Able Baker. That's actually was one of the ones I would hit up after jiu-jitsu. I'd go to Able Baker, have lunch there, and have on Atomic Duck or whatever was the new release that day, right?
Yeah, Arts District Kitchen kills it. I love how Horse Trailer Hideout kind of partnered with them so they can have the food delivered over there.
That's cool.
Beautiful.
Nevada Brew Works, they have a mix of stuff. I know on Wednesdays they do the half off the burgers.
The burgers, that's cool. The pizzas are.
Oh
pizzas
yeah, he's fired up.
The pizzas to die for.
Pizzas are really good.
I'm going to their charity event. Actually, they're having a charity event next week, and and it's a bourbon tasting. It's Buffalo Trace. So they have a whole. I think they're gonna do the whole Weller line and a bunch of giveaways. But I mean, good cause. They have their own Ariana Rye Foundation, which is cool to support. But I'm a big Buffalo Trace fan, so it's both. It's a little bit of a mix of both. I'm excited to actually check it out.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
How was your 2-year anniversary for
Cerveza?
No, Cerveza.
Oh no, Cerveza had their 2-year.
There you go. Yeah. Dude, there it's always a party over there. So it's you can drop in at any time. I actually had to drop in a little early. I was there for a little bit, and I had the cocktails. They have a pop up where they have cocktails. My friend Emma makes the cocktail. She made the cocktails this night. Oh my God, she's
phenomenal,
amazing. Emma. She makes ice cream. She's a wizard with flavors. So she's awesome. whenever I want an old fashioned, if she's around, she's the
She's the one to go to?
I
Okay.
definitely want to try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of old
She
fashioned.
she had her pop up. She does all of her juices, like all of her mixes. She makes them from scratch.
Ooh,
All of her garnishes. She dries them all. Everything she does is amazing. So yeah, it was a fun time. You know, always good seeing the crew over there. Like there was the three owners, Johnny, Al, and me. So it was initially just 6 guys, and the majority of the crew was there that night for a little bit. I had but yeah. It's always great seeing those guys. Those guys have helped me out so much. Me and my brand as well too, right? They have a great following, and it's cool to be a part of the team over there for sure.
And as Heron says, talking about food, they always have great food trucks there. I've had plenty of food trucs there, so.
I gained 30 pounds over the. Come on, yeah. No, the food's amazing. The food trucks they always hit. You know, they're. The taco trucks are awesome. My favorite probably has to be Antidote. I don't know if you guys.
You remember the one we did?
Oh my!
That one day, I have a picture. I always have a picture. I don't know if
we were there one night. It was really good.
So good. We were just like, this hits the spot. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah. Dude, food trucks is a whole. So it's like
craft beer. The craft beer and food trucks are
crosses.
Yes. So I love like there's a Torta Chaser. I don't know if you guys.
I've heard of it.
So they do amazing stuff, and they like love to work with craft beer community, right? And yeah, they'll mix some of the beers in their recipes, and amazing. Same thing with Salsa Balazo. So we worked with him for my last couple events, and there's a reason because he loves beer, and I love beer, and he like it's cool to work with a guy like that for sure. He's built his brand up, and it's. Everything that he does is really high quality. The salsas are really good. The tacos are to die for. You're not getting tacos like this just anywhere. Yeah. He learned his craft. He knows exactly what he's doing. And
salsas are always back ordered.
Yes.
I went into Beer Zombies Boulder City one day when he was doing an event, and he had him there, and I was like, oh yeah, definitely getting some. Like, I can't believe more people didn't show up. I was like, people are missing out because they were doing like. If you buy a beer at the bar, you can have like a flight of like salsas and chips. So we were just like trying them all with the beer, and I was like, that's what
I got to do with them. I got to do a flight. Let's work on a local flight with some.
We should all get together and do it because we love doing pairings, like food pairings.
I'm all about
it.
I'm all about pairings.
We gotta do that next.
I love it. Seriously. So the combination of flavors, right? We have access to absolutely everything, right? Here in Las Vegas, that's one of the amazing parts, right? Of food, anything you want on the planet, you can get here, and it's fresh, right? The sushi places, that's why they thrive. That's why they thrive. They have all these casinos order this fish, and then there's extra fish for all these other restaurants, and they can do all you can eat. And you're eating like a king at these places.
I love all you can eat sushi. Because I love high end sushi, but at the same time, like. Can I all you can eat as much as I want at a good level? Because most places it's hard to find good level all you can eat.
It is, but you can always find your spot.
Yeah,
you can always
find your spot. It's like, I'm definitely.
There's a lot of different spots for people, but I found my spot multiple times in a couple different places. So it's an awesome city to live in for food.
Yeah,
definitely, especially off the strip now.
Yeah,
the off the strip places have leveled up. Absolutely, you have places in Summerlin, places in Henderson, places all over.
Yeah,
and then. They're following along with the craft beer scene, right? And they're growing with the craft beer scene, which is absolutely awesome, right?
Hey, it's a win-win. We get good food and good beer, and then
right?
There's no problems no more, right?
Yeah. We have good food and good beer. Yeah.
Everything is solved.
Everything's solved. We're good beer, good food.
So we'll wrap this one up, guys. We're going to do a bite episode with Julio on his Hoppy Amber, so stay tuned for that, and we appreciate you guys watching. Check out the website. I know D-Bro likes to do this normally, but I'm going to steal it from him, brewswth.com. Go on there. We have a contest for one of our other episodes. Check that out with Vinny. And then for this one, I know Dustin wanted to do this. Are you going to do it? We're going to have Las Vegas Beer Snob sign one of his cans, and we'll do a giveaway for that. An empty
giveaway!
Empty collectible giveaway. So that way, if you wanted to try it, I know a few people that I trade with and stuff were asking about it, so hey, stay tuned. Do that on the website. We'll have it posted. But we appreciate you guys. Follow him on Instagram and all his socials.
Hit me up for absolutely anything. I try to respond to everything. If I don't get you, just hit me back. Cause
Yeah, he's always busy.
I try to do as much
bunch
as
of
possible.
people. But we appreciate you guys. Check out his upcoming releases and support him on Instagram and all his platforms. We'll see you guys next time. Cheers.
Cheers.